Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It is Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025, and as always, I'm holding the mainstream legacy media's feet to the fire because they're liars, propagandists, they lie. And guess what? You won't be trusted anymore. Yeah, people in the media have a responsibility to tell you the truth. That's what they're supposed to be. That's what journalism is all about. But they have turned into propagandists. And that's why yours truly is here with the audio receipts. I'm Dave vonKleist. These are the WTF reports. And as if we don't have enough reason to say, WTF! Come on! Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. This stuff is absolutely bat crap bonkers. Bless her heart. Over there in the UK, she's doing a great job. I love her. And she doesn't call herself bat crap bonkers. She calls herself bat stuff bonkers. Anyway, okay. If you missed yesterday's show, I did a special show for Memorial Day. And I have to tell you, that brought back a lot of very poignant memories for me. Back in the 90s, yes, I was with Joyce Riley, and she and I were the American Gulf War Veterans Association. And we were traveling all over the country trying to help the veterans from the first Gulf War because of their exposures to chemicals, biologicals, experimental vaccines, protisticmine bromide pills, and God knows what else that they were given to our troops. And not only that, but our military was using depleted uranium rounds, which are radioactive. They contaminate the soil, the air, the water, everything for 4.5 billion years. Anyway, and like I said, there were a lot of memories that were brought forward because a lot of these songs, I have to be honest, I wrote these songs years and years and years and years ago. And I went through a difficult time after leaving the Power Hour, or shall I say being ejected from the Power Hour. And I just, I didn't want to be Dave vonKleist anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was done. D-U-N, done. Capital, bold type, red letters, underline, exclamation point, done. And so I had a self-imposed hiatus for about 7 years. And I came back to the States, and since that time, I just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. And eventually, I just couldn't stay silent anymore, which is why I'm back on the air with the audio receipts, screaming from the rooftops, a lone voice in the wilderness, as they say, trying to build up the listenership. And for those of you who are enjoying the broadcast, I respectfully and humbly ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. And tell your friends and family about this program, because I try to have a little bit of fun with this. But it's hard. It's difficult, because there's so much evil stuff that's out there. So anyway, where am I going to start today? Well, as always, I start many of the different broadcasts. If you've been listening for some time, you know that that I've been trying to alert people that the globalist agenda is to eliminate 7.5 billion people off of this planet. That is their goal. You can say I'm a conspiracy. You think I'm a conspiracy theorist? Raise your hand. Come on, way up high. Yeah, show your armpit. Yeah, and slap yourself with it. Because we conspiracy theorists are batting 1,000 for decades. And, there's, as they say, no good deeds go unpunished. We get, ridiculed and attacked and, labeled and all the other stuff. I don't care. My skin is pretty thick at this age. But the bottom line here is that yes, there is a plan to eliminate a huge segment of the world population by any and all means necessary, by many different fronts. And if you look at what's going on in the world today, you will notice that, maybe Dave's right. Maybe they are trying to get rid of a whole bunch of people. But anyway, so where do I start today? Well, first of all, there is, let me see here, which one shall I go first? Okay, I'll tell you what. Last week, there was a news conference, and President Trump was asked about treason, because he'd mentioned that word before, and that's a word that doesn't get thrown around that often. But this is what President Trump had to say, and I think he's putting down some breadcrumbs for us to follow. Listen up to this one.
Says treason is punishable by death. You've accused your adversaries of treason. Who specifically are you accusing of treason?
Well, I think a number of people, and I think what you look is that they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person. If you look at Comey, if you look at McCabe, if you look at probably people higher than that, if you look at Strzok, they want an insurance policy so that should she, for any reason, lose, remember, 100 million to 1. Maybe he said 100 million to nothing.
Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second. Of course, he's referring to the 2016 election when he was running up against Hillary Clinton. And everybody said, there's no way Trump's going to win. They were laughing at the prospect of him being president. But, yeah, we all know what happened.
But should she lose, we'll have an insurance policy, and we'll get this guy out of office. And that's what they said, and that's what they meant. That's treason. That's treason.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And treason has been going on wholesale in Washington for a long, long time. Now, are they just throwing breadcrumbs out here? Are they sort of like dangling a carrot in the front of the face of the American people? Because we all know it. Those of us who have, cognitive abilities and functional gray matter placed strategically between our ears, we can figure this stuff out. For those of us who have been paying attention and not allowing ourselves to be distracted by the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs and the new movie that just came out, for those of us who are paying attention, we see it. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's amazing. But, they're finally starting to talk about it. And, General Flynn also was discussing this particular issue, and he's dropping some breadcrumbs, too. Listen up to this one.
We cannot move forward. The nation cannot move forward. I don't care how good our how much Trump, adjusts the economy, and he will. But we cannot move forward unless people are held accountable. And I mean very, very senior people, and they all know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, and I've said it many times. It's the start with Obama and work your way down, right? I mean, maybe you don't throw a former president into prison, but maybe you do. Maybe somebody says, well, who directed you, John Brennan? Who directed you, Jim Clapper? Who directed you, Susan Rice? Under oath, under the lights, and with the threat of prison, okay? And so who directed you? Well, if they say nothing, okay, then that's fine. Then you're going to go to prison. You're going to prison. You're going to prison for treason, okay? Treason. That's a very strong word. It's a very strong word. And like all these pardons, right? These pardons, the only thing that can't overcome a pardon is treason, is the commitment of treason. I mean, I get called a traitor all the time, and I say, well, wait a second, so if I'm a traitor, why am I walking the streets, right? If I committed treason, why am I walking the streets? I was never charged with that. They dismissed my case because they lied, right? And so, you think Mueller and Wiseman, Andrew Wiseman, who was the deputy to Mueller, would have let me go? Had I was a traitor or that I committed treason? The treason was committed against me as not just Mike Flynn, an Army general, but the national security advisor by a duly elected president of the United States. The outgoing administration under Barack H. Obama committed treason. They committed a conspiracy to undermine a duly elected president, and it hasn't stopped.
No, it hasn't. It continues. So, I'm glad to see that this is actually being discussed. I mean, the T word, the treason word, is a word that you just don't hear it very often. I mean, we all know that treason's been going on for a long, long time, but you never hear them actually talking about it. Now they're actually throwing that word on the table. So, I mean, how far is this going to go? Now, I also want to point out that there is a lot of there's a lot of misinformation being put out there. Yes, we know that the legacy media, they're putting out tons and tons of misinformation and lies. They've been doing that for a long time, and they're really good at it. Yeah. And they get a lot of people to swallow that horse hockey. But, on the conservative side, there's a lot of stuff that's misinformation being put out there as well. I mean, there are a lot of websites out there that, they say that Yeah, they've been having military tribunals down in Gitmo, and that may or may not be happening. I don't know. I do know I've seen the satellite photographs, and Gitmo has been built up a lot in the past decade. I mean, since Obama, I mean, the size of those facilities down there has exploded. And there's not only that, but there are also other facilities placed strategically around the globe. But whether or not they're going to be filled up, or are they filled up right now with treasonists, with people who've committed crimes against humanity, against the United States? I don't know. But there are some websites out there that are claiming that, yes, Hillary was executed back in 2018. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. And so was Obama. And so was so-and-so and this person and that. I don't know what to say about that. I don't necessarily believe it. I don't put it outside the realm of possibilities, because we've all seen with our own eyes many of these deep fake, not just videos, but the masks. The masks are amazing. The detail of these things are just, they're incredible. So, I mean, have we been watching a fake Joe Biden for the past several years? Or a fake Kamala Harris? Or a fake Jill Biden? Or a fake Nancy Pelosi? Are we watching a fake Donald Trump? I don't know. I don't know. But to be honest, we just have to use our brains and try to figure out what makes sense. Now, where this is going to go, I don't know. But Zbigniew Brzezinski said, we know our mission is accomplished when everything the American people know is a lie. Well, maybe that's exactly what's been going on. I don't know. But all this discussion about treason and crimes against humanity, et cetera, I mean, I got a lot of stuff about that, about this vaccine. I can't say that. Ooh, geez, I got a mark against my account. I can't say that. I got to say the hokey pokey thingy dingy. Nice to live in a free country with free speech, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I got a couple things here I want to share with you. Let's see. Where shall I go first? Okay. Let's do... I was saying that, the powers that be, they want to reduce the population. It's as simple as that. They really do. And they're pretty much open about it. And again, it's deeds, not words. Remember Erin Brockovich? That movie that Julia Roberts was in about these people who had been poisoned in a little community? Well, guess what? It's still going on. Here is Erin Brockovich talking about all of the Foreverchemicals and the Glyphosate and all that stuff that they're putting into the soil, which means we are being poisoned. Here's Erin Brockovich. Oh, don't you do that. I hate when the computer does that. Okay, here she is.
EPA, FDA, political leaders, where have you been? How did you miss this? That now we have an entire country that could potentially be in peril from this forever chemical that's destroyed your land, destroyed our farming, destroyed our water, and destroyed public health and welfare.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. She's aware of you been, mainstream media. Well, the same companies that produce these forever chemicals and poison the land and poison the water and poison the air, they're the same ones who pay off the media. So you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's why we don't hear about it on the news.
Wow.
There's so much sadness and anger.
This has broken our hearts and crushed our spirit. And I don't know if we'll ever get that back.
Told their farms are shot through with chemicals linked with liver damage, damage to fertility, thyroid issues, and cancer.
All of this land has been poisoned, water contaminated, all of these people touched by this.
Called Foreverchemicals because they are nearly impossible to destroy. Prime soil, crops, milk tainted in the heartland, leaving many farmers on the brink of ruin.
Suicide among dairy farmers and farmers in general is incredibly high because a lot of these farms, a third, fourth, and fifth generation, you are going to be the person to lose it. Your great-great-great-grandfather cleared the land, and you are going to be the person to have a bankruptcy auction because you can't hold on to the land.
This is the story of how their farmland was destroyed right out from under them.
Greed, money.
We'll take you to ground zero of where it all began.
You never wanted to be an activist.
I just wanted to milk our cows and be left to hell alone.
and show you how far back the paper trail goes.
When they had the choice of do we go public with this or do we sweep it under the rug, they chose the rug.
And with these chemicals now impacting 97% of Americans, according to the CDC, what you and your family need to know.
I am glad News Nation is looking into this problem. All of us, the entire country, will deal with the fallout.
Yeah, that's right. The entire country will indeed deal with the fallout. And I applaud News Nation for doing this story with Erin Brockovich. And again, I point out that we know what to expect from the alphabet news networks: CBS, ABC, NBC, yes, CNN, FOX, Fox, MSNBC. We know what we're going to get from them. But to be honest, over the past decade, we've had several other news networks pop up. Of course, there's Newsmax, and there's One America News, and there's Real America's Voice, and there's News Nation. There's a bunch of new networks that have come out, and they're putting out a lot of good information, but they're still not going far enough. They're still not going far enough. And as I said before, truth is like pregnancy. You can't be mostly pregnant or a little bit pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant, period. But the truth is the same way. It's either the truth or it's not. You can't have 80% of the truth or a little bit of the truth. You have it. It's either all or nothing type of. That's the way it is with truth. Anyway, and that's why I'm still railing against all these new conservative networks that have come up, because they're just not going far enough. We all know where the influence is coming from, and I don't. I have no regret about calling this the United Zionist States of Israel. Whether you like it or not. How do you like hearing that? This is the United States of Israel. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Anyway, point is, okay, let's see. It's 23 minutes past the hour. Yeah, I've got plenty of time to do this. Okay, there is a doctor, let me see, Dalgleish. Dr. Dalgleish, he is scared poopless about what's coming. And this is what he has to say.
I think we're here today to discuss, the dreadful use of vaccines and the mandates that have caused so much problem. And it's very clear now that why on earth did they do this? I mean, I have no idea, because from the very beginning, these vaccines were not vaccines, particularly the ones that ended up after AstraZeneca with all the clots and they were shut down. But the messenger RNA vaccines of Pfizer and Moderna have caused unbelievable problems and damage to people. And I don't think we will ever really be able to get over that. It was absolutely abhorrent that they would even think of this. And they were pushed into this by Pfizer and all the people that Pfizer and Moderna wanted to get this into everybody. These were not vaccines. These were horrible gene therapies that could actually integrate into your genome. And this is one of the reasons we're seeing this horrendous rise in turbo cancers. I'm terrified what they have done to our children. I think everybody who went along to that should actually stand up to trial, defend themselves, and go to court. This is unbelievable, the incompetence, medical negligence, everything, and nobody is accepting responsibility for this. And they have to be held. This is Nuremberg trial stuff. Mm-hmm. They are so awful. They were never, ever effective. I've looked at the first submissions of Pfizer to the FDA. There was no evidence that they were effective whatsoever. It was basically hope. And they were never, ever safe.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sorry, but this is not just negligence. This is not, a bunch of morons. This was intentional. This is being done. They know exactly what they're doing. And there's a Dr. Marble, like marbles. Anyway, he's putting out the alert about what's in the blood. And this is, again, you can't deny that it isn't, it's intentional. It has to be. Here's Dr. Marble.
Hello, Dr. Ben Marble here. I'm going to make a comment about the blood supply. The entire blood supply in America and basically the whole world is contaminated with the spike protein poison bioweapon. We need to arrest all the damn evil poison pushers, and we need to quit accepting blood from people who took the poison because we're seeing patients that get blood transfusions that are unvaccinated, and suddenly they get blood clots or have heart attacks or strokes, have bad outcomes after receiving blood that has the spike protein poison in it, which is what I told everybody was going to happen 3 years ago, and I was banned everywhere for telling the truth. All right, so we got to arrest all these damn evil poison pushers, and we need to get the spike protein out of the blood supply. This is complete mad science insanity, and all the retards are in charge, and they all need to go to hell, as far as I'm concerned. Hello, Dr. Ben.
Yeah, he's right. And hopefully if God judges them, they will be spending their eternity in a very warm place, that's for sure. So, again, if you think that this is all accidental, if you think this is just something that sort of happened, oh, we didn't know, oh, yeah, well, let's move on. Yeah, let's turn the page. Yeah, let's forgive and forget. Yeah. No, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. All of humanity is on the line right now. And it's not like you weren't warned. You know Cheryl Atkinson? She has a show out there that's a syndicated show, and I believe the NBC carries it. It's called Full Measure. Now, Cheryl Atkinson's been at this for a long time, and it was 19 years ago, in 2006, she was with CBS. And she was looking into the, by the way, I can't say that V word. Unfortunately, these audio clips have the V word in there, and that's probably going to put a mark on my account, but it is what it is. So anyway, she was talking about the hokey-pokey thingy-dingy 19 years ago. Here's Cheryl Atkinson.
Here's what scientists have found. Over 20 years, the percentage of seniors getting flu shots increased sharply from 15% to 65%. It stands to reason that flu deaths among the elderly should have taken a dramatic dip, making an X graph like this. Instead, flu deaths among the elderly continue to climb. It was hard to believe, so researchers at the National Institutes of Health set out to do a study adjusting for all kinds of factors that could be masking the true benefits of the shots. But no matter how they crunched the numbers, they got the same disappointing result. Flu shots have not reduced deaths among the elderly. It's not what health officials hope to find. NIH wouldn't let us interview the study's lead author, so we went to Boston and found the only co-author not employed by NIH, Dr. Tom Reichert.
We realized that we had incendiary material.
Dr. Reichert says they thought their study would prove vaccinations had helped.
We were trying to do something mainstream, that's for sure.
Were you surprised?
Astonished.
Did you check the data a couple of times to make sure?
Well, even more than that, we've looked at other countries now, and the same is true.
That study, soon to be published, finds the same poor results in Australia, France, Canada, and the UK. And other new research stokes the idea that decades of promoting flu shots in seniors and the billions spent haven't had the desired result. The current head of national immunizations confirms CDC is now looking at new strategies, but stops short of calling the present policy a failure.
There's an active dialogue into how we can do better to prevent influenza and its complications in the elderly.
So what's an older person to do? The CDC says they should still get their flu shots, that it could make flu less severe or prevent other problems not reflected in the total numbers. But watch for CDC to likely shift in the near future more toward protecting the elderly in a roundabout way by vaccinating more children and others around them who could give them the flu. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
And again, I remind you, that report was 19 years ago. This is not new information. They know what they're doing. They've known what they've been doing for a long, long time. And they're not going to stop unless the American people get off their big, fat, pimple-covered butt and get involved. And I don't know what it's going to take because it's the playoffs, man. It's the playoffs. Yeah, man, I'm just recovering from a long weekend, man. I was out there at the picnic, you know. I had a whole boatload of burgers and hot dogs and drank a bunch of beer. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up work. Yeah, eat some leftovers and watch the playoff games. That's America. Yeah, that's America. A government of by and for the people who are sitting on their butts. Anyway, okay, I'm going to take a quick pause for the cause.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now, the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get more Tank by visiting our website. Our website is TheWTFReports.com. Don't forget the word the, T-H-E, TheWTFReports.com. Visit the sponsors page, and you will find a link to take you to Get More Tank. You can read up on all the technical data and why it works, how it works, and the results that you will see when you're driving your vehicle around using Get More Tank. You'll see improved performance, a cleaner engine, and most importantly, you're going to save some money. Yeah, you put more jing in your pocket because you're going to get between 15 and 20% more mileage out of your vehicle, depending upon how you're driving is and what kind of vehicle it is. But, yeah, you definitely want to do that and use the promo code REDPILL101 because that's what this program is. It's sort of like a 101 course in going down the rabbit hole. Anyway, so Get More Tank. You won't be sorry. Okay, that said, as you are well aware, I have no love of the mainstream media, and I'm pretty PO'd at the conservative networks out there because they're just not going far enough. And this is why I wrote a song. Let me see, 1996. Yeah, that's 29 years ago, going after the mainstream media. And this song is dedicated to all you guys who call yourself journalists, but you're actually propagandists. You know what? What goes around comes around. And yeah, it's the theme song that I used to open and close the show, but you haven't heard the whole thing in a while. Here it is.
Many people asking questions. There are many people asking why. There are many people paying attention. There are many now who see the big lie. There are many folks who want to get busy, and your great spirit is well organized. And you notice that it's starting to happen. You've betrayed their trust, you now realize. The line's been crossed in the sand, and the fire's been fanned. All the people demand to hear the plot that you planned. You won't be trusted anymore. It's too late for you to tell us you're sorry. You passed that point a long time ago. 'Cause perpetuating lies and deception is the only thing that you seem to know. And you thought that you'd be safe in your tower, insulated from the people below. But the truth has undermined your foundation by so many people now in the know. You thought that you'd see the day that you could just get away from the ones you've betrayed, who raised their voices to say you won't be trusted anymore.
So you think you can trust the mainstream networks? Well, they just keep on lying and lying and lying. And Nora Dunn, David Muir, Lester Holt, Wolf Blitzer, all of you guys. How do you look at yourself in the mirror? I don't know how you do it, folks. Like I said, the truth is a constant. You're either going to give it all up, or you might as well just pack it up.
to start to be true. We can't wait for you to finally discover that the things you did can be done to you.
We can't wait to see the table is turning, forcing you to see the things that you've done. We can't wait for you to face the music, understanding that there's no place to run. See the faces turn white as the people unite. Watch the roaches take flight as you turn on the light. You won't be trusted anymore. No, you won't be trusted anymore. No, you won't be trusted. Yeah, you blew it. You blew it, guys. You really did. You'll never be trusted again. Once you lose the trust of the people, it's almost impossible to ever get it back. Anyway, that said, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I got a couple more clips I want to get to having to do with the hokey pokey thingy dingy. But if you want to call in, I'd love to hear from you. 215-867-8255. Scratch it on the wall. 215-867-8255, and I'll put you right on the air. All right, getting back to a couple of other things about the hokey pokey thingy dingy. Remember the SV40, the simian virus 40 that they were all screaming about 20 years ago? Yeah, the one that caused AIDS. Yeah. Well, guess what?
Bombshell new study from Yale Medical School finds people suffering from long COVID are actually suffering from mRNA vaccine injury. As if that's bad enough, it's worse than that. These people are suffering from what's called vaccine-induced AIDS. It's called VAIDS. This is from Slay News. Leading scientists from the world-renowned Yale University have confirmed that COVID mRNA vaccines cause vaccine-acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, VAIDS. A bombshell study conducted by researchers at Yale University School of Medicine found that mRNA injections alter human biology to create long-term spike protein production that increases over time. The scientists warned that the COVID mRNA vaccines alter T-cell immunophenotypes, which triggers VAIDS. The study was led by Bornali Bhattacharya. So not only were we collectively forced to take an experimental vaccine or risk losing our jobs, we were lied to about it. It didn't stop you from contracting or transmitting the virus. It wasn't safe. It caused heart issues, blood clots, autoimmune disorders. We were censored when we questioned the madness. And now we find out that the mRNA jab causes VAIDS in many people. This is one of the most egregious scandals in American history. Kash Patel's first order of business at the FBI should be throwing in prison every single person involved in this crime against humanity.
And I'm not holding my breath right now with Kash Patel. Remember, he said as soon as he gets in there on day one, this is going to happen, that was going to happen. Yeah, we're going to release the Epstein files and all this stuff. We're still waiting. So, are we ever going to get the truth out? I don't know. It's kind of hard to get the truth out when you're living in a country that's basically the United States of Israel. And, oh well. And I can't really say the hokey pokey thingy dingy, but unfortunately a lot of these audio clips, they're saying it. So it is what it is. If I get a strike on my account because I said the dreaded V word, well then so be it. But as far as this whole thing, this VAIDS issue is concerned, and you heard, Dr. Marble talking about the spike proteins being in the blood supply. Well, last week, and for those of you the regular listeners out there know that I've been covering this for quite some time. And Dr. Arne Burkhardt was doing a study, and I played the audio clip last week. He was studying men's reproductive systems. And he was finding that the spike proteins have been replacing the spermatozoa in jabbed males. And his voice was breaking as he was saying, if I was a woman, I would seriously consider not having children with a vaccinated man, or something to that effect. Again, this is not an accident, folks. This is a global plan to reduce the population drastically. And if that's not bad enough, then They also want to destroy, people say, well, look, I'll be okay as long as I pray and I have God in my side. Well, they want to destroy that too. They want to destroy your pineal gland. Yeah, think about that. That's what connects you to the divine. I forget who this was, but forget which doctor this was, but he was talking about the pineal gland being calcified by the different things that have been introduced into our environment. There's aluminum, there is glyphosate, there is fluoride, and Wi-Fi. Yeah, here you go.
Will be a movement driven by big corporations to take the soul away from people, to disconnect people from the higher world. And in order to do that, we have to destroy the pineal gland in people. And I followed the research on that, and amazingly what we found, the pineal gland is the most sensitive part of our central nervous system, and is highly, highly, highly sensitive to 4 things: aluminum, glyphosate, fluoride, and Wi-Fi. And we are the only country in the world that has pushed these 4 things in the last 60 years or so on everybody growing up here. There must have been an ultra-intelligence group of scientists who have designed this protocol to fluoridate the drinking water, to put nanonized aluminum in the air, to put glyphosate in the food, and then activate it, spark it with the right frequencies.
Mm-hmm. So all the puzzle pieces are fitting together. And,
oh, Dave, you sound like a conspiracy theorist.
Well, I'll wear that badge with honor. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. You just heard of, I don't know who that doctor's name was, but yeah, he's putting the puzzle pieces together. Yep. Yeah, let's see. Aluminum, glyphosate, Wi-Fi, and what was the other one? Oh, I forget already. It's so much to take in. But anyway, I have to share with you also, let me see if I can open this up. This is something I shared last week, and it's worthy of being shared again. This is a research article, and it was published on MedCrave. You can do a search, MedCrave. And the title of the article is Vaccines Devised to Delete the God Gene. It's called the FunVax. And it's amazing because, it was about 20 years ago, I saw a presentation that a guy was giving, of course, back in the 2000s after we had the 9/11 attack. Of course, those were all Islamic extremists. We hear about Islam. And, of course, the Oklahoma City bombing, okay, those are Christian extremists, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. And there's always, Christian extremists and Islamic extremists. We never hear about Jewish extremists, but we're starting to. But anyway, the point is that this article here was talking about this technology that was being discussed 20 years ago. Now, the idea here was that these extremists out here, these religious extremists, had a part of the brain. When you're in deep prayer or meditation, there's a part of the brain that gets all fired up. And so they did scans of the brain, and they said, okay, well, here's a person who's in the middle of meditating or prayer or something like that. And you could see on this screen here the part of the brain that gets fired up when they're involved in prayer. So if we can figure out how to shut down that part of the brain, well, then we won't have extremists out there, will we? Well, that also cuts off your ability to connect with the divine, or even to have a desire to speak to God or have any spiritual, life at all. And that's what this is all about. It's called the FunVax. And let me see. I'm going to read part of this article here. It says, notice how FunVax was the meme they sent out, considering it all good fun to surreptitiously extinguish a COVID-19 vaccine recipient's religious nature and innate yearning for spiritual truth. It is of paramount importance to unravel the intricacies of the FunVax delivery system. It represents the culmination of many decades of highly secretive biowarfare research waged against humankind. However, it is the COVID-19 pandemic itself that has served as the catalyst for exposing this nefarious plot. This is the same reason the globalist cabal is determined on mandating a universal COVID-19 hokey-pokey thingy-dingy program. While being promoted as a purported cure for the SARS-CoV-2, the virus causing the COVID-19 pandemic, the real reason for the vaccine is the suppression of the vesicular monoamine transponder, the gene, the so-called God gene. Now, this is thunk up by DARPA. They had dreamed up this mRNA gene therapy to delete the God gene. Now, think about it. I mean, if they can develop a technology that will prevent you from connecting with the Almighty, I mean, what else can they take from you? I mean, that's stealing your soul. This is how evil these monsters are. And I don't know what it's going to take, to get this all out into the front. Put it on the table. So again, take a look at this article. You can look it up. It's published by MedCrave, and the title of the article is Vaccines Devised to Delete the God Gene. Now, is this for real, or is it just horse hockey? Well, considering what I've learned in my years, yeah, I think it's real. I really do. And I've been watching for a long, long time. I'm one of these old school patriots. I've been around for, since the early 90s. But anyway, I wanted to throw that out there because we all need to consider how evil these monsters are. I mean, when you can, in an unrelated issue, of course, we've got the Anthony Weiner laptop, we've got the Hunter Biden laptop, we've got the Epstein files, we got the P. Diddy files, and nothing's being done. Nobody's been arrested. Well, yeah, P. Diddy's been arrested. Yeah, Epstein got arrested. Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested. But, I mean, you're not going to get to the bottom of this until you start arresting the customers, the people who frequented these locations and engaged in these horrendous activities. So, anyway, like I said a couple days ago, I think the release of some of that information, of those names, this could well be seen as a threat to national security. I mean, think about it. If you've got members of Congress, the Senate, you've got judges, and that goes all the way up to the top, to the very top. If we've got all these people who are, involved in this, and we start naming names and arresting people, my gosh, our whole country could go into absolute chaos. But maybe that's what has to happen. I don't know. Okay, we've got a caller here. Let's see. Is this Carolyn? Hello, Carolyn.
It is.
Welcome to the show.
I missed your last thought. Thank you. I missed your last comment there. But it does, I think, tie into one of the things that I question. I'll make a couple comments first, please, on whether or not people have already been basically treasonized. Basically,
treasonized. I like that word. Treasonized. Yeah.
Dehumanized there on those fronts. I don't know, but what makes it difficult, and it's not my main focus of topic to talk about, but I did want to mention because you said something, is it makes it a little bit more difficult to believe when the same people saying that about the body doubles, they're also saying that John F. Kennedy Jr. and Elvis and Marilyn Monroe and all these people went underground and they're still alive. Mm-hmm. It just makes it less palatable, okay? That's one, which would be a psyop in and of itself to make us look bad. Right. But regarding the real, what it's coming down to is like what you're talking about is why the sudden, it's so obvious of the two people that we were really counting on, Cash and Dan, mm-hmm. And they're suddenly saying, so it's either they're forced to change the narrative or the facts, or not the facts, but like you said, show us the facts, prove it, tell us, huh? Why the flip? Do tell. Why the flip? You say transparency? We're going to be transparent now? Okay, we're waiting for the transparency. Okay, we get the list. They say, okay, it's going to take time. I get it. However, it's like, I know that the dots are connected, people, and you mentioned national threat. Okay, I get that too. But at the same time, it's a national threat that the elites, the globalists, are keeping us in danger by not letting us deport. And that's even if we could find all of them. They're already here.
Well, the thing is, every single day that goes by that they don't act on this is another day where children are being abused, brutalized, raped, killed, sacrificed, you name it. And you want
body parts sold,
and you want to know why maybe Dan Bongino isn't saying anything. I can't say for sure, but I can't help but think that it's one of these three words:
bribery, coercion, blackmail.
Yeah, there you
coercion,
go. And blackmail.
And bribery.
Yep, maybe that's one of them. I mean, because I remember back in the 90s when I was with Joyce and we were traveling around the country trying to help the Gulf War veterans. We were in Colorado. We met with the senator there, and I forget which one. It wasn't Ben Nighthorse Campbell. It was the other senator. But anyway, Joyce confronted him. She says, "Sir, you're aware of all the information in these documents, in the Senate reports and the congressional records. You know about the exposures our troops had. Why aren't you doing anything to help them?" And his response was, "Because I have a 15-year-old daughter, I want to make sure she has her sweet 16th birthday." This is how these monsters work. They'll go after your family.
Not to mention their mansions. The greed.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. But the national risk. I mean, I've heard that at the same time. I mean, we're already in trouble. I mean, we're already there. It's to me. Somebody mentioned that there's a belief that they're going to override the corrupt judicial system, which, you got to be kidding me. It's really unfathomable. You're like, are we in some like sci-fi movie here? That it's like we're going to wake up from a bad dream and just go, oh, that's a relief.
Yeah, right.
But is that they're talking about doing a lockdown on us, like martial law, to get rid of these the bad guys, So it's just there really is no explanation for this. But Israel's involved.
Oh yeah,
that's a no-brainer, right? But why? I mean, even Trump, like you said, I'm like, whoa, what? Like, hold on a second, what's going on here? So yeah, I'm. I mean, they want us confused. The pineal gland. That's along the lines with their transhumanism. They want the same thing. They want control of you just to use you as like the Matrix. Really?
Well, yeah,
Harari
Huvala's been talking about that with the World Economic Forum. They want to hack human beings, and they want to, they're literally playing God. That's what they want.
Yeah.
These people are insane.
And they want us to follow them. Yeah. Well, people are falling into it. And the scary part, Bill Cooper, the show before you, the MG show, they played Bill Cooper, who was murdered, of course. He was talking off the rooftops. And one of the things he said was, he said the trouble, and you and I can relate to this, is the trouble is with your country is look in the mirror. Okay, so that is so, the other is they said if you want to honor your veterans, especially the fallen, any of the veterans, but Memorial Day and all, is to become a worthy American citizen worth defending, for one. Well, that's secondly, but thirdly, it's like it's hard to watch and see, like why do our eyes see these people literally, following each other over the cliff with, say, high technology, the thingy dingy, I heard your slip today. I was like, oops. I don't know. I might have John was like, uh-oh. So, which was kind of, but like you said, no free speech, huh?
Yeah,
so
right.
There's those thoughts that it's, but the problem is with that too, is they're taking us down with them, like now, now we have to breathe it. It's in the food. I'm afraid to go out and eat dinner at a restaurant. No joke. I'm like, is it true that Trader Joe's chicken is tainted with the mRNA? Like, holy Toledo.
Well, yeah. I mean,
so
they've been putting They've been shooting up a lot of the livestock with that, and it's also showing up in the vegetables now, in the lettuce and the spinach. I mean, they make. Yeah, they've been doing this. JFK. Robert Kennedy Jr. was talking about this.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, there's no escaping it.
Vegetables.
Yeah,
there's got to be a way to get it off of the vegetables. I don't know. That's so bad. I mean, I'm thinking about just going and eating sprouts. I swear, hopefully the water's pure and get some good seeds. I don't know.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts. Yeah, it's bad.
Well, all we can
do. Thanks for your show.
All we can do is, we have to humble ourselves and start praying to God, and don't let them destroy our pineal gland or shut us down with, whatever technology that they've got. So,
maybe the Wave Watch. If I want to find that May 22nd that you interviewed Linda about the Wave Watch.
Yeah, it was last Thursday.
Maybe there's something with frequent. So, but how do I find it on your website? I go to your WTF reports.
Yeah,
but
scroll down.
How do I get that particular?
Yeah. Scroll down, and there you'll see a box down there for the Wave Watch, or you can click on the advertisers page or the sponsors page, and it'll take you down to a link.
How do I get the? So I want the interview. I want the interview on the 22nd.
Yeah,
like your radio show.
Yeah, if you go to go to the WTF reports and just scroll down, and you'll see it right there. I think it was the 22nd. I think it was.
Yeah, it was the 22nd. Yes.
Yeah, so just scroll down there. You'll see see the show for the 22nd, and Linda Banber joined me. I guess it was about 25 minutes after the top of the hour. So. I
want to hear that, because maybe the frequencies will help us somehow.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt whatsoever. I have no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Just to stave off and we're getting probably. Remember they talked about the shedding.
Yeah.
That if you live with somebody or you're breathing their air, or who knows anymore.
Yeah, right.
I love that last one though that you played on how he called them just the way the verbiage that he used describing the monsters, what do you call them, the something shots, or the poison pushers? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, right.
So,
like I said, if you go to the WTFreports.com and scroll down, and you can hear what Linda had to share with us, and it's just an amazing piece of technology. So anyway, I'm flat out of time here.
That's for sure. Thank you.
I
know. Bye.
All right. God bless. Bye now. Yeah, the Wave Watch is something that we should all be standing up and taking notice of, because of the fact that, we all know Nikola Tesla told us that frequency is everything, and it really is. And the what's his name, Dr. Royal Raymond Rife, he developed the technology that is contained in the Wave Watch with all these different frequencies. So I would highly suggest that you check out the Wave Watch. Again, you can go to our sponsors page, and if you use the promo code REDPILL100, you'll get $100 off. And I believe this week they've been running a special. You'll also get a $100 gift card. I don't know if that's still in effect. Don't hold me to it, but they were doing a special on that last week. So anyway, that said, man, got a lot of stuff out in the show today. I hope you're enjoying the program. And if you are, I humbly and respectfully request that y'all, that listen, whether you're on YouTube or BitChute or Rumble, I'm asking you to, like it, share it, subscribe, and tell your friends about it. Help to get the word out. Help this program grow. Yeah, we got to get a bigger footprint. Trying to save the world. Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Anyway, that said, folks, we're flat out of time. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. And again, I ask that you do some business with us. We got some great merch. The WTF Reports T-shirts, baseball caps, and coffee mugs. So, hey, get some good stuff here. That said, we're out of time here for this Tuesday edition of the WTF Reports. I'm Dave vonKleist. I hope you're enjoying the program. And with that said, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, same station, etc., etc. God bless you all. Stay safe. And above all, stay free. And we'll see you tomorrow.